Imagine a place where roads are rivers and cars are long-tailed boats. This isn't a fantasy, but a real breathing community. Deep in the heart of Cambodia, on the vast and shimmering Tonle Sap Lake, one finds such a wonder. It is a village called Kampong Pluk, which translates rather wonderfully to Harbor of the Tusks. This extraordinary settlement is not built beside the water, it is built upon it. The people here have adapted their entire existence to the rhythm of the lake, a rhythm that dictates the rise and fall of the water with the changing seasons. It's a testament to human ingenuity, a place where life flows as steadily as the currents beneath the houses. My journey to this remarkable place was an adventure in itself. One leaves the dusty roads of Siem Reap behind, traveling towards the Great Lake. The landscape begins to change dramatically, the dry earth giving way to lush green floodplains. Suddenly the world opens up into an enormous expanse of water that stretches to the horizon, meeting the sky in a hazy, beautiful line. It feels less like a lake and more like an inland sea. It is here, embraced by this immense body of water, that the people of Kampong Pluk have made their home for generations, their lives intertwined with the fortunes of the lake. It's a humbling and truly breathtaking sight to behold for the first time. The first glimpse of the village is simply unforgettable. From a distance it looks like a forest of spindly legs rising from the water, with colorful houses perched precariously on top. These are not just any houses, they are built on towering wooden stilts, some as high as 10 meters. This incredible architecture is a clever response to the lake's dramatic seasonal changes. During the dry season, the stilts are fully exposed, and the village sits high above the receding water, with the ground below becoming a temporary space for repairs and community gatherings. But when the monsoon rains arrive, the lake swells, and the water rises to lick at the floorboards of their homes, turning the village into a true floating city. Visiting Kampong Pluk feels like stepping into another world, one governed by nature's clock. The air is thick with the sounds of the water, the chugging of boat engines, and the cheerful chatter of its residents. There is a palpable sense of community here, a closeness that comes from living in such an interconnected yet isolated environment. The people are masters of their aquatic world, navigating its challenges with a grace and resilience that is deeply inspiring. It's a place that challenges your perception of what a village can be and shows you a way of life that is both ancient and perfectly adapted to its surroundings. The houses themselves are a marvel of practical design, built to withstand the whims of the water. They are typically constructed from wood and bamboo, with corrugated metal roofs that shimmer in the tropical sun. Brightly painted in blues, greens, and yellows, they add a splash of vibrant color to the earthy tones of the lake. Each home has a veranda, a sort of front porch on the water where families gather to mend fishing nets, prepare meals, or simply watch the world float by. Chickens are often kept in floating coops, and small vegetable gardens are cultivated in pots, showing an incredible resourcefulness in creating a sense of normalcy in such an unusual setting. Beyond the homes, every aspect of the community is adapted to this aquatic existence. The local school is also built on stilts, a beacon of learning in the middle of the lake. During the school day, the surrounding water is filled with small boats as children paddle themselves to their lessons. You can hear their laughter and recitations echoing across the water. There is also a village pagoda, its ornate roof rising proudly above the other buildings, a spiritual center for the community. Even the local businesses float. Small shops, essentially floating platforms piled high with goods, drift from house to house, selling everything from fresh fruit and vegetables to household supplies and snacks. The marketplace is perhaps the most lively and fascinating part of the village. It isn't a square or a street, but a bustling congregation of boats. Fisherwomen, their boats laden with the day's catch, jostle for position alongside vendors selling fragrant noodle soup from bubbling pots. Other boats are piled high with mangoes, coconuts, and other tropical produce. It is a vibrant, chaotic, and wonderfully sensory experience. The bartering, the calling out, the exchange of goods and gossip, it all happens on the gentle swell of the lake. This floating market is the economic and social heart of Kampong Pluk, a place where the community comes together to trade and connect. Living in this way requires a deep understanding of the environment. The people of Kampong Pluk are intimately connected to the lake and the flooded mangrove forest that surrounds them. This forest is their larder, their hardware store, and their playground. They navigate its submerged corridors with ease, fishing for shrimp and crab among the tangled roots. The forest also acts as a natural barrier, protecting the village from storms and providing the wood they need for building and fuel. This symbiotic relationship between the people and their environment is the key to their survival and prosperity, a delicate balance maintained over centuries. In Kampong Pluk, the boat is everything. It is the family car, the school bus, the delivery van, and the ambulance all rolled into one. From a very young age, children learn to handle a paddle and navigate the waterways with an effortless skill that is astonishing to an outsider. They paddle small, nimble canoes to visit friends, run errands for their parents, or simply explore the watery lanes of their neighborhood. The boat is not just a tool, it is an extension of themselves, granting them freedom and independence in their unique world. Owning a boat is not a luxury. It is an absolute necessity for every single family. The waterways are the village's streets, and they are always busy with traffic. Long-tailed boats powered by noisy but effective engines serve as the local taxis, ferrying people and goods across the lake. Their distinctive sound is the constant soundtrack of the village. Larger boats function as floating merchants, their decks piled high with everything from bags of rice to television sets and furniture. You might see a family moving house, their worldly possessions carefully balanced on a barge, or a floating ice cream vendor paddling from home to home, ringing a bell to announce his arrival. The entire social and economic life of the community plays out on these liquid highways. Getting to school is a daily adventure for the children of Kampong Pluk. Instead of walking down a street, they hop into their family's boat or paddle their own small vessel. Groups of children can be seen gliding across the water in their neat school uniforms, their laughter carrying over the gentle lapping of the waves. They tie their boats up at the school's floating dock just as children elsewhere might park their bicycles. This daily journey fosters a remarkable sense of responsibility and self-reliance from a very early age. It's a completely different kind of school run, one that is dictated by the weather and the currents of the lake. Social life, too, revolves around the boat. If you want to visit a neighbor for a cup of tea, you don't knock on their front door. You paddle up to their veranda. Celebrations like weddings and festivals become grand aquatic processions, with flotillas of decorated boats moving across the lake. During ceremonies at the pagoda, the surrounding water becomes a sea of vessels as the entire community gathers to pay their respects. The boat is the thread that weaves the social fabric of the village together, connecting families and friends across the watery expanse and ensuring that despite their physical separation, they remain a tightly knit and supportive community. The daily rhythm of life in Kampong Pluk is dictated by the sun and the fish. The day begins early, well before dawn, as the fishermen prepare their nets and head out onto the vast, quiet lake. Their silhouettes against the rising sun are a truly beautiful sight. Their families, meanwhile, begin the day's chores, cooking breakfast over charcoal stoves, washing clothes in the lake water, and getting the children ready for school. It is a life of hard work, but it is also a life of profound peace, lived in close harmony with the natural world. There is a slowness and a deliberateness to their movements that is mesmerizing to watch. For the people of Kampong Pluk, this extraordinary lifestyle is simply normal. Children grow up learning to swim almost before they can walk, and the water holds no fear for them. It is their backyard and their playground. They see the towering stilts of their homes not as a strange architectural feature, but as a fundamental part of their world, a clever solution to the challenges of their environment. The challenges are real. Storms can be fierce, and the reliance on fishing makes their economy vulnerable. Yet they face these difficulties with a resilience and optimism that is deeply moving. Their unique way of life fosters a strong sense of identity and pride. This is a world that feels both ancient and modern at the same time. While traditional livelihoods like fishing and foraging in the mangrove forest remain central, modern life has also found its way into the village. You will see satellite dishes attached to the wooden houses and hear the sound of televisions and radios. Mobile phones are common, connecting the villagers to the wider world. Yet these modern conveniences are integrated into their traditional lifestyle rather than replacing it. They have found a way to embrace the new without losing the wisdom of the old, creating a culture that is vibrant and constantly evolving. Ultimately, Kampong Pluk is more than just a collection of houses on stilts. It is a living, breathing example of human adaptability. It is a place that reminds us that there are many different ways to live a full and meaningful life. The resourcefulness, community spirit, and deep connection to nature that one finds here are truly special. To visit, or even just to learn about this floating world, is to gain a new perspective on what it means to build a home and a community. It is a powerful reminder that with ingenuity and a strong spirit, people can thrive in even the most extraordinary of environments.